I am 46 years old, and I am married to my wife Lily, who is also 46 years old, and we've been together for the last 16 years. I am a corporate executive, and my wife is a housewife. She worked in a plant nursery, but after we got married, she decided to become a housewife. We have 2 daughters, 14 and 12 years old. Our family was happy until the truth about my wife's cheating was revealed. So last week was our friend Dan's birthday. He has been settled in another country for the past few years, so we called him via video at midnight to wish him well. After wishing him, all 4 of us, myself and my wife, along with Dan and his wife, were busy making small talk about work and life. He had no other plans for his birthday, so we decided to virtual socialize and relax a bit. His wife suggested that we could use Chromecast for WhatsApp video calls through the TV so we could relax and have a good time together. My friend's wife and Lily are also good friends, and we often hang out when they were in town. Anyway, Lily connected her phone to the TV since the remote TV control app was already installed and active on her phone. We grabbed some beers and appetizers and enjoyed the virtual feast. After a while, Lily got dizzy and dozed off on the couch while Dan and I continued to chat. His wife was asleep as well. After about 30 minutes, the call was interrupted due to internet fluctuations and my wife's WhatsApp screen appeared on the TV. I was about to call Dan back when I noticed about 15 unread messages from a man named Bridge of Life with a heart emoji. I was a bit surprised because it wasn't me. Curiosity got the best of me and I clicked on the avatar and discovered it was her childhood friend Max. I had met him a million times since we got married because my wife was close to him. They were neighbors and high school friends. She once told me that everyone around them, both in the neighborhood and at school, thought they were either dating or would eventually date each other. However, that didn't happen. According to her, she didn't see him as a romantic partner. Plus, Max had no interest in women. At this point, Max was lonely. It didn't bother me so much seeing my wife's lifeline because she told me that he wasn't interested in women. However, it was then that another message popped up from this chat room. "Baby, I miss you." This prompted me to delve deeper into the matter. I opened Max's chat room conversation and discovered that my wife had been texting him through her phone the whole time. Unfortunately for him, she had unexpectedly dozed off without kissing him goodnight, and so he blasted her WhatsApp. After getting a blue check mark on his messages went like this: "Why aren't you answering? Is everything okay? I can't sleep without your kiss goodnight. This can't be a conversation between good friends." By then, I was sure their relationship went beyond friendship. I scrolled through the chat room and found that they were texting almost every night. My goodness, what dark conversations they had. While my wife slept peacefully on the couch, I went over all the dirt she had endured with her lover friend. The chats occasionally flashed X-rated photos and nude pictures in between that gave me chills down my spine. I was in a daze, but I wanted to know everything that had happened between them. I didn't know how to take screenshots of these conversations on the TV, so I used my phone to snap images on the TV screen. After taking 6 pictures, I was done. I didn't care about collecting evidence. I wanted to know how and why. I wanted to scream out loud and vent my frustration, but I didn't know how to confront her. It was 3 a.m. and I was already under countless beers combined with several shots of whiskey. I barely had the energy to move or even think. I just kept scrolling through the chat room, seeing my failed marriage in front of me on the big screen. At that moment, everything seemed groundless. She shared every tiny detail with her lover, even the details of our intimate moments. In fact, after every private moment between us, she repeated the same with him to compensate for his feelings. I felt disgusted. I wanted to know when it all started, so I kept scrolling, but it seemed like an endless sea that gets deeper and deeper. By then, the messages from Max had stopped coming, and there was dead silence in the house. I felt haunted. I grabbed the pillow lying next to me to make sure I wasn't dreaming or hallucinating. I was still mindlessly flipping through the pages when Lily suddenly woke up from her nap. The sleepy head suddenly boiled when she saw her double life on the TV screen. She immediately snatched the remote from my hands and turned off the TV. She then pounced on her cell phone and unplugged it from the TV. I just continued to stare at her, stunned. I watched as she opened a WhatsApp chat, browsed through her lover's chat, and then closed the app with a deep sigh. That long sigh was a sign of surrender as she realized that I knew everything. She took my face with her hands and moved closer to me, saying, "Baby, I can explain. Please listen to me." I looked at her and replied, "Of course, you can explain." She was surprised by my response. She expected me to overreact and not listen to her. I was almost passing out, partly from the alcohol and mostly from unraveling the truth. I repeated, "Damn it, explain it." She couldn't find the words. I said, "You know what? Don't try. You know you're ducked up." Saying that, I limped and headed for the bedroom. She followed me. I turned to her and asked her to stay, simultaneously slamming the door in her face. I heard her knock a few times, but I soon passed out. The next morning, I woke up with a heavy head and had almost forgotten what had happened the previous night. I left the room to get a bottle of water because my throat was dry. When she saw me leave the room, she rushed to me. And with that sight came all the painful memories of last night. She tried to hug me, but I asked her to pull back. She pulled back with tears in her eyes and a puppy dog face. She told me that I had misunderstood. I ignored her and went to the fridge to get a water bottle. She kept nagging me that I was overreacting and he was just a friend, and that they never had any physical relationship, only in chat rooms. It was just healthy flirting. I wasn't ready for a confrontation yet, but her lame excuses flustered me and I yelled louder. "Really? Who in the world sends naked pictures to male friends? And what does this sexting mean? Wasn't he supposed to be interested in women? Then how the hell did he find interest in your intimate parts?" It was a Saturday morning, and thankfully my kids weren't home. They were with my parents this week to enjoy summer vacation. I stared at her begging for an explanation. My mental state was pathetic. I wanted to get to the bottom of the situation, even though I knew she would break me in pieces. I wanted her to confess all the details of her crime. I drank the whole bottle of water in one go, and then asked her to confess everything from the beginning, or else I would beat up that two-faced lover, the black and blue one. This time, instead of hiding or begging, she revealed the truth. She admitted that she and Max have always been lovers. They had started a physical relationship in high school and had continued it ever since. However, Max was a lazy bum and bluntly told her that he couldn't afford to provide for her. To give a little context about Max, he dropped out of high school and never earned a penny on his own. His parents have purchased some decent properties in the suburbs, the rental income from which allows him to keep his expenses afloat. However, it's not enough to pay for two people. I met his parents a couple times during a visit to Lily's house. They were concerned about Max's laziness and asked Lily to advise him on how to get a job or start a business. Everyone except Max was worried about his future. Anyway, back to the track. Lily admitted that she had broken things off with Max many times because of his commitment issues, but he had always managed to win her back. Apparently, Max has never had a problem with Lily dating other men, although he has never dated anyone other than her. She had a couple boyfriends before we started dating, so it sounded plausible to me, although surprising. What kind of lover does that? I know. Maybe a lazy one. I asked her if they were so close, why didn't she marry him? She said Max would never have been able to provide her with a good lifestyle. Besides, Lily never had a stable job either, and she never even dreamed of being the breadwinner of the house in her career, so she decided to be a sponger and lead a double life. I asked for one last question, if the girls were mine or Max's. She swore they were mine, but I wasn't convinced and still doubted her. She offered to take a DNA test if I wasn't convinced. She said she couldn't risk having children with Max because she was afraid that if her truth was revealed and I abandoned the children, she was sure Max wouldn't be able to raise them even if he wanted to. I don't know if I should be relieved to know that at least the kids are mine. I asked her to leave the house or I would reveal her truth to everyone, even the girls. They may be young, but they are smart enough to realize the truth. She begged me not to tell our daughters, saying they would hate and disrespect her. I filled my water bottle, grabbed a few beers, went into my room and locked it. I sat in front of my laptop and stared at the screen for over an hour. I didn't know what to do next or who I should talk to. The truth was killing me from the inside out. I was suffocating. After emptying the bottles of beer, I left the room, grabbed my car keys, and drove to my relative's house, which was 40 minutes away. My mother-in-law answered the doorbell with a pleasant smile. but when she saw my red face, she realized something was wrong. She called my father-in-law, who ran out of the bedroom and sat me down. I was sweating and shaking with anxiety. I told them I didn't know the best way to confront it, telling them everything. As I revealed the horrible truth, my throat went dry and my body temperature spiked. In the middle of this conversation, we heard someone knocking on the door. It was Lily. She burst into the house and asked me to leave immediately. She said it was our own business and that we should deal with it rather than involve her parents. The next few hours were a series of emotional rage and confusion. I rebuked her for cheating on me for 16 years, while she brushed it off as a simple casual relationship that meant nothing to her. Gradually, she shifted the blame to me for manipulating her parents against her, and I defended myself. Relatives took my side and scolded her. I spent the entire weekend drinking, passing out on breaks, and filling my stomach with alcohol. The next day was Monday. I went to work feeling defeated and exhausted. At the office, I did a Google search for some divorce attorneys and made an appointment with one. Upon returning home, I found some of her things missing. I guess she came home while I was gone, packed up some things, and left. I didn't bother to check on her. She texted me, letting me know she was staying at a hotel to give me time to cool off. Did she really think the matter was so trivial that I could just move on? She also sent me messages asking for forgiveness and promising to end her relationship with her lover. That Tuesday, I met with an attorney and shared my concerns about my daughters. The lawyer advised me to tell my children gently about the breakup and not to get into details because they could be mentally traumatized. He also said that since my wife was unemployed and given the nature of her affair, I had a good chance of getting custody. That same day, my parents called Lily to get the kids out of the house. They were still unaware of the situation. She came home with the kids as I lay on the couch in exhaustion after a stressful meeting with the lawyer. I avoided talking in front of the kids and went to my room. When she came into the bedroom, I told her to tell the girls about her cheating. She started sobbing and begging me for forgiveness. She kept saying the girls would hate her for it. I think they should. She deserved to be hated. What else do you expect after 16 years of cheating on your family? The lawyer said it would take about a week to send Lily's divorce papers, so I had a week to settle things with both kids and parents. I told her I was divorcing her. She reacted like it was a big deal. She said the kids would be traumatized by the divorce. I wonder where her maternal feelings have been buried all these years. I stated that my decision was final and gave her an ultimatum within a week to confront the girls as she wished, or I would tell them the truth. I grabbed some pillows and dozed off on the couch in the bedroom. All that week, I left the house early in the morning and came in late at night. As the weekend approached, she wailed and cried all night, sometimes so hard that I woke up. I felt sorry for her, but how could she do this for so many years? What was she thinking that she would never get caught? She had many opportunities to cut off her lover, but she still continued with him. Our private conversations, my insecurities, my deep dark secrets, everything, she left open before her lover. How could I forget it all? Friday night, she told me that she had planned an outing to tell the girls the next day. I nodded. Saturday after breakfast, she told the kids that we had news for them. She said I was going to be transferred to another country, so I would be gone for a few years. I was stunned as my daughters looked at me. I sarcastically asked her in front of the girls, "That means I have to move out of the house, right?" She rolled her eyes, signed for me to shut up. She said, "Well, in that case, if the house is too big for the three of us, we can move to my parents' house and find a smaller place later." The girls were puzzled by this. They were young but not stupid not to understand the game she was trying to play. My youngest daughter said that none of what she was saying made sense, and my oldest asked us point blank, "Are you guys getting a divorce?" I looked sternly at Lily and urged her to tell the truth. She sighed and broke down. The girls looked at me for answers. I told them that they were right about our divorce. I explained to them that we no longer felt compatible with each other. My oldest daughter claimed that I might be having an affair, and that's why their mom was crying. She took her mother's hand and asked if I was cheating on her. Instead of clarifying the situation, Lily just hugged her in anticipation. The girls looked at me with disgust. I had lost my mind over this manipulative woman. I was stunned to see her flip the table around me. I told my daughters how I found out and what their mother was doing, of course, filtering out the plus content. Lily yelled at me for recanting. She told me that I had given her the right to give the girls any explanation as to why I didn't support her when she told them about my transfer. The situation got out of hand, and I decided to put an end to Lily's manipulation. I called my parents and Lily's parents and asked them to come over as soon as possible. They both lived 40 minutes away, and within an hour, all four of them were at my house. That hour was a nightmare I will never forget in my life. My daughters were crying while hugging me and seeing this. Lily was struggling to comprehend her actions. She even went so far as to paint me as a liar and manipulated the girls against me. She only stopped when I told her that I had pictures of those conversations. My parents were shocked to see us in such a state. I recounted the incident briefly. Everyone despised Lily for such a disgusting act. She kept sobbing and begging for forgiveness. For a moment, I felt sorry for her. It pained me too to see her in such a state, but she bought it for herself. Instead of painting me as a villain in front of my daughters, she could have just told them that we had fallen out of love or something like that. But she wasn't ready to admit any guilt on herself, and now her ugly truth lay naked before the eyes of everyone, including her daughters. I made it clear that we were proceeding with the divorce and the girls would be with me. I asked her parents to take her away. Even the girls asked her to leave. My parents decided to stay for a few weeks and take care of us. It really was a difficult time for us, but we are glad we came on strong. I signed up for therapy for all three of us, and we are in a much better mental state now. My divorce proceedings are ongoing. Lily has demanded a share of my house, and I am contesting it because she doesn't deserve a penny. Surprisingly, she has not contested custody of the children, making it easy and obvious for us to understand her priorities. During the confrontation, and even afterward, Lily promised to cut all ties with her lover. However, after she moved in with her parents, she was caught visiting her lover's house. Her siblings caught her and humiliated her to the point where she eventually had to leave the house. Her parents humiliated Max for his actions and reported it to his parents. The last thing I know is that his parents refused all the rent he was getting on the property and asked him to make a living on his own while Lily works as a sales agent at the showroom. I don't think about her anymore. I focus on raising my daughters and giving them the best I can. Wish me luck. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Until next time, I'll see you again. Take care.